We got some new content, and that will be the show 24 today. And I'm going to go through and give my thoughts on the packs, the cards that we've seen so far, and my general thoughts on Diamond Dynasty so you know what to plan for this next week. That's going to be my goal on the channel this year. Post videos like this every week on new content drops so you know my thoughts and maybe what to prepare for in the future, and even cards that you should be trying to get right away. So let's not waste any time. We're going to the pack market. That's where a lot of our content is today. To our pack section here, we have our Seoul Series Pack. And the pack is interesting, right? 40,000 subs, though, a little expensive. And if this is like any of the previous spring breakout packs or any of the other choice packs, I don't think these cards will hold value. They're already 60K. So I probably wouldn't recommend ripping the pack. I would give it a day or two. If you really like a player, I would pick them up when they're a little cheaper, because I bet you they'll get to that point. I mean, this pack came out the other day, and Cam Collier, Jordan Lawler, all these guys are rare round players, and they're less than like 30K, many of them. Even though some of them could be solid, like Tink Hence here, they're a little weak on the price point. So I would recommend being patient in general with packs. But once all these cards become reasonable prices, I think they could be solid. In terms of the base round of this pack, I think the safe pick here will be Max Muncy. Great power. Vision will also mean he gets the Byron Buxton captain boost, which a lot of people are probably running that. And he would be a very viable option, especially as a platoon if you have a good righty who's good versus lefties. Maybe you want to run Muncy and Justin Turner at third base, and you'll have good hitting versus both sides, even as you get to the higher difficulties. Luis Campusano could be interesting. I got to test his swing, see how it plays. A contact-oriented card, but I could see this card being a pretty fun option. You just maybe want to consider a defensive sub, because bronze fielding is probably not good. Yuki Matsui could be viable for a lefty reliever. They're always helpful since you only have so many lefties near launch. The attributes aren't crazy, though, and neither is the pitch mix. So I feel like he's more of a middle game, funky type guy to change up the mold if you were using a high velocity pitcher to start. But I don't think you'll have the longest play. The pitch mix is tough to pitch with. You got a slow curveball, which is very tough to work with. You've got a slurve, which is pretty slow, which could be good. The splitter could be solid, and the four seam only getting to 93. So he's a slow pitching guy. So it could work, but he's kind of tougher to pitch with. Jackson Merrill could be a solid middle infield, outfield option. Fun contact type card. I got to test his swing myself, but I don't think this card will be super high priority. I think he will definitely be very cheap by the time this pack is like still up for a while. Should be a fun lefty outfielder, but yeah, I wouldn't say he's like a top card or anything. Like, I would probably use Cedric Mullins' Team Affinity card in the outfield over this, like, without a doubt. Daniel Hudson could be another, like, solid middle reliever. I wouldn't use him as, like, a big closer type guy. I think there are other guys like Clase and Jose Leclerc who are better for that. But Daniel Hudson will be solid. He's got the four-seam sinker slider, and the slider's a pretty fast slider, but not that much change in velocity. He's not really funky either. But, of course, anyone who has a sinker and a slider could be very solid pitchers. So, if you need some bullpen help, I bet it'll be an affordable option soon. And then Xander Bogaerts in the rare round. Again, could be pretty fun. Nothing too stacked on the attributes, though. Also doesn't really fit the captain boost, really, in the beginning of this game. At least I don't think. I don't think he fits Maddox either. I always forget his number. But once he gets a reasonably affordable price, I bet he could be a top few middle infielder. Shortstop and second base felt pretty weak near launch, and I think Xander could have some play with the level of contact he has on even Hall of Fame difficulty. He's got that good of a swing, and the contact will be more than enough for that. Evan Phillips, I think, could be that closer type reliever. He does have sinker and cutter, better overall velocity. I think the main downside is his breaking ball being a sweeping curve. But if you're funky or creative enough with that, he could be good. I've actually really liked his gold so far. But yeah, that's the thing with Evan Phillips. You got to learn the sweeping curve. Because the four-seam sinker cutter mix can work, but it will probably only work to a certain extent in many games. But definitely one of the better relievers you can get. And again, if he gets cheap, he'll totally be worth a reasonable price. And Will Smith, I gotta say, is reminding me of like a JT Realmuto, where the attributes are not crazy on this card, but he's good enough. And he's got a swing that I feel like is really good. Like if you've played co-op in the past and you've used Gold Will Smith as your catcher, this will be a card you probably like. Like he's got a big leg kick. You could visibly see the timing of his swing easier. And despite not having crazy attributes, I think he will be very, very solid. I think he'll probably be just as good as like the Gary Sanchez is, the Yasmani Grandal, like right in that ballpark, if not maybe even a little better than like Grandal. Just a very well-rounded card. So yeah, Seoul Series Pack, I like the rare round. They're good, fun cards that don't feel like they're must-use or like you're missing out on if you don't get them. But if you like those swings or you need a position, I think they will end up being reasonable prices and fun cards to try. So would I buy it for 40K? No. I would consider buying these cards on an individual basis based on what you need. And I assume this will kind of be our meta in Diamond Dynasty. Each about week, we'll probably get some choice packs. We're also getting headliners again. We're getting new chase packs. So it seems like these cards aren't going to be must use for every single person, but it seems like depending on how you're playing or the positions you need, there'll be a niche position that you need filled that these packs will bring. We got the Spring Breakout Pack 2 the other day, and this pack isn't bad. You know, Cam Collier, Jordan Lawler, and Tink Hence could be fun rare round guys. But again, I don't think they're must use, and as you see, they're already settling at around 30K. So I don't think you really need to rush out to the gate and get any of them. But Lawler could be like a fun, contact-focused, speedy shortstop if you like that. Collier can play corner infield. Again, good on the contact. Like, that's actually very solid. And then Tink Hence has got sinker slider, pretty good velo from the looks of it. Could be a solid starting pitcher. But if you're really playing the long haul and trying to save stubs for stuff, I probably would recommend just going the team affinity route for starters. Or, heck, I mean, he's 30K. You can get John Donaldson at a similar price, and you'll probably find more success pitching with him. And in the base round, you know, these guys are pretty cheap. They could have some play. I probably wouldn't be rushing to use any of them because they're seemingly a little weak on the attributes from the looks of it. I guess I should note, we also have a Vault Pack, which again, I don't know if the pack is worth buying. It's kind of a way to get older cards that were in packs. So if you get this 40K pack, you have a chance at like a good card like Jackson Holiday and Paul Skeens. But a bit expensive. And you're not even guaranteed a diamond in this pack. You're guaranteed a gold. So again, I don't know if it's worth buying. But again, those guys in the pack, hopefully they remain relatively inexpensive. Because like Holiday and Skeens could be fun. Even Mickey Mantle. 17K is a very fun card. But I'm not even sure every single card that you can get in this pack. I do want to mention, just because what I was using before, some of those low diamonds and those choice packs could be very solid. I was recently using in Battle Royale the Mets Spring Breakout Catcher. I think it's a Mets guy. No, it wasn't the Mets. There's a catcher that's a Spring Breakout guy I was using. I would definitely recommend him. Dalton Rushing. Really had fun with him. It's like a beginner catcher option. 87 overall. He'll get the Buxton boost. Obviously, this is like a random card to throw out there, but I realized this man was crushing for me in BR. Could be a very fun catcher to try. But yeah, that's the pack market and everything we have in there. Overall, again, I don't recommend buying packs. That's kind of the meta of MLB The Show. Packs aren't going to really directly be worth it on their own. Their cards might be worth getting on their own when they're reasonable prices. But the beauty of this game is just playing the game and doing things like Team Affinity are going to be very valuable to you. I've gotten a lot of progress just from passively playing the game, and you get a ton of 89 overalls that are still very viable and good like depth options for your team. So that's a good place to start, and then spend your stubs maybe on live series collections if you're doing what I'm doing, or maybe just any particular live series cards that are good right now. Like I just got Mike Trout the other day. I would do that rather than buy the packs, unless you really want to have fun. Packs are good for fun. But we're kind of creeping up in the overalls at this point. I feel like at this point in the game, it's March 22nd today, meaning that we're probably about a week, give or take, into early access and launch. I think it is about that, a week into early access, or since early access. And people who've been playing consistently are starting to definitely have all diamond lineups. If you're diving into ranked, you're definitely no guarantee to find any golds or anything. So keep that in mind. You know, it's not a bad idea to grind out your team and get your team to a comfortable position before you hop into ranked, even at the very beginning. But if there is anything to take out of it, a lot of good players have already started playing ranked and gotten out those lower rankings, meaning you might have some more even matchups in ranked. So maybe now's a good time to hop into ranked. I'm going to be doing it at some point soon. We'll have a new event at some point soon as well. This event really didn't give that great of cards, and they are cheap. Both these guys are cheap. So like, I feel like if a card like these are quick sell, you may as well hold on to them. And as we keep going on to the season here, we're going to have some big stuff coming next week, another free diamond pack. So I guess there'll be like a Ha-Seong Kim equivalent card. We'll have supercharging cards. So if you haven't been collecting some live series cards for yourself, maybe you want to hold on to a couple just in case you get supercharged. Also, opening day event. So new event, new egg hunt program. So we'll have more diamonds to get in there to add some more depth to your lineup. And then ranked update. So we'll get some more progress in that ranked program. You'll be able to make your way even further closer to Ernie Banks and Randy Johnson in this program, because they're kind of tiering these out. So if you haven't hopped into rank yet, definitely will want to hop into rank then. I think you'll be able to get to McCutcheon very reasonably, and definitely these guys at some point. You want to keep up with the mode enough. So yeah, that is the content right now. Let me know in the comments if there are new cards that came out today that you are excited for and enjoyed, because I won't be tier listing cards in the same respect this year, but it's worth knowing each week which cards we like, don't like, and I'm going to go through and keep on reviewing them like this each time, so you know what to really do in Diamond Dynasty. But I appreciate you all watching. Make sure you sub to the channel. I will be posting some hitting and pitching tips at some point soon, as I'm playing more and more online to hopefully help you get better at MLB 24. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting this Scann Plays channel, and I will see you again on the next one.